creator versus consumer? Which are you? That's the subject of today's video, creator or consumer. And the reason I want to draw your attention to this is because a lot of us, and certainly this was me prior to becoming a very dedicated creator, I swapped from that consumer mentality into a creator mindset. Now you might be asking yourself, what's the benefit of having a creator's mindset besides perhaps creating things and the general fun of it? Well, let me enlighten you or give you some insight from my perspective at any rate. So I used to be someone who consumed a heck of a lot of content, and that's still true. I do consume a lot of content. However, the content that I'm consuming is for the intent of my own personal growth. It's not simply wasted time on things. Not that anything is ever wasted. Anyway, the benefit of switching your mind over, if you find that you are in the consumer mindset, and how, if you're asking, how do I determine if I'm in creator or consumer mindset, you can do a super quick diagnostic on yourself and simply just do an audit essentially of the time that you're spending either literally creating things, or how much time are you consuming people's content, watching things on YouTube, reading books, although that can be a good thing, you know, I don't know, wasting, gaming, or doing other types of things versus making stuff, like I said, versus creating. How much are you consuming and how much you're creating? And also factor into that maybe your food, because consumption of that is also relevant, is a subject for another video in terms of this particular one. The benefits of the creator mindset and of adopting a, well, or shall I say, of becoming a creator are honestly many, and there are too many benefits to list in one video. So don't worry, I won't bog you all down with all of that. However, let's touch on some highlights. The first of which is that you have creativity. Like when you switch into a creator vibe, you are more focused on, you become more focused upon the things you're creating, and those things then have intention rather than being kind of random, as can be the result of us operating from a consumer mindset. You know, our thoughts are inspired from somewhat of a different place when we're in a consumer mindset. Other benefits, you know, it puts you into, and this is something that I feel like gets overlooked, but being in a creative mindset actually puts you into an abundance flow, or puts you in or closer to the vibration of abundance. So if you are perhaps stifling that desire to create something, because I will bet that there's something in your life that you at some point or other, whether you acknowledge it now or not, you wanted to create in your life at some point. It is one of our, I've spoken about this in a different video recently, it's one of our greatest gifts, or perhaps it was a topic for a video that I have not yet made. At any case, I will touch on it if I haven't. When you're in the abundance mindset, when you're in the creative mindset, your focus, as opposed to perhaps when you're in the consumer mindset, is more on your creations. And when I say that, more on enjoying the process of creating them and making them and having fun with making them, rather than the outcome of, oh, when I make this thing, I will receive this, or doing it for the purpose of the outcome. You are almost entirely creating to create in an honorable way. I don't really know how to explain that experience. However, if you've had it, you'll know what I mean. So it behooves you in so many ways, because the other thing that happens is kind of a byproduct of becoming a creator is that you develop a stronger connection with your intuition, because you begin to listen to those nudges from inside yourself. What do you want to do? Which will lead you to what wants to come out of you, which will lead you to what you're here on earth to do, your purpose. And that's why I wanted to highlight the benefits, those few benefits. There are many, 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 like I said. However, these are just a few of them that I've listed here in this video for you to enjoy. And I wanted to spark that on you because because when that mindset or that switch really finally happened for me, that's when I started to gain traction, I guess you could say, in my life with things that I was doing. They actually started to, like my reality started to actually shift, as opposed to me just wishing and hoping for things. They were actually starting to come because I was trusting in myself more, which also plays into another video I recently made, so I won't reiterate that here. So I would invite you that if you catch yourself being in a consumer mindset, and it's not hard to fall back into that, by the way, it is a part of the hypnotic trance, which is largely society out there these days in general, it just is. And so if you find that you've fallen into this and you're doing more, like I said, the way to diagnose which side of the spectrum you're on with creating and consuming is do an audit of your time and find out how much time are you spending actually literally creating things in whatever sense, and how much time are you consuming things from others or consuming even food. Just find that out for yourself. It's a very enlightening diagnostic tool to just see where you're at with certain things in life, and to perhaps, if your manifestations are kind of sluggish, just diagnose why that might be. So I wanted to shed that little bit of light on that in case that perspective isn't something that you've thought of before, as is often why I share many of these things, because sometimes it is the littlest things that someone can say in the most random moment that just absolutely blows your mind. And it's when I go through these transformations and these aha moments that I come here and make a video so most of these are like, holy cow moments that I've had. Not all, of course, I'm a comedian too, so some of this stuff is comedic and some of it is just purely to help you guys. Also, though, a lot of this is speckled with, my own comedy in my own life. So I hope this has helped you. If it has, please do share the video with anyone that would either find it amusing or could take something away from this. Subscribe, as it really does help out a small creator like myself. And last but not least, if you, my beautiful soul, need any coaching, feel free to reach out here at this email address, and it would be my absolute pleasure to serve you. Have a beautiful, blessed rest of your day or night, and I will see you, gorgeous cats, in the next video. Namaste and much love. Bye. And I think this is what I was saying before, and I kind of threw myself off and lost my train of thought, but spark that on you, whatever. What do you want to do, which will lead you to what wants to come out of you, which will lead you to what you're here on earth to do, your purpose. Sometimes it is the littlest things that someone can say in the most random moment that just absolutely blows your mind. Holy cow, here I am to save the day.